First trip cleared, the dog went all the way around the pillar!
The wall's working against him in his face! Cryo!
Smick standing here with Coach Kaplan after Sentinels take map number 1. Kaplan, I think this is the first time I get to personally congratulate you. Congratulations on winning Madrid. It was amazing to watch. And I'm curious because initially I'm sure that was your first Mount Everest, was to not only win kickoffs, but to do the more important thing, which was to win Masters Madrid. But now that you've done that, I feel like your job almost gets a little bit harder. I mean, the goal starts becoming, okay, we've reached the top, now we have to maintain the top. So what has the focus been for you and the team in practice after winning Madrid?
Yeah, I mean, it's been tricky. We've only gotten scrims in a little bit with Curry because John was in Morocco working out his visa. It's the most unique challenge I've dealt with so far as a coach. It's my first time dealing with it, coming back, making sure we're not complacent. So a lot of it today was picking up the energy. Hey, this game is really important, the way the format works. We need to win it. But then when we're losing, you know, we have a tough defense half. Hey, we didn't get to scrim it. All good guys, go next. Like, you know, not our best map. We didn't get time to clean it up. Just being realistic with our standards is what we're doing right now.
For what it's worth, Curry had utter faith, even when you guys were down. So congratulations and best of luck on map number 2.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Sentinels won the game, but 100 Thieves gave the reigning champs a run for their money, especially on their attacking half, and it came through strong set plans and also great macro timing. We're coming into this round with 100 Thieves ready to drop a Killjoy ult in B main. They're separated 4-1 right now with Bang in mid, but we'll get to him in just a little second. First things first is they drop down this ult, and it doesn't really leave much space, actually, for players to play backside, right? You've got to go all the way back into Snowman, or you're very deep into Kitchen with a long pathway to actually re-clear space onto the site. So as 100 Thieves come in here, we've got a great Dizzy that comes popping up on the top, and a lot of teams would be happy enough to just simply allow the wingman to go down and plant the spike. But 100 Thieves have other ideas. They want to fight forward. So with that Dizzy coming through, Cryo dash updrafts onto the top of the site. If you missed that, look at the mini-map right here. Dizzy primes dash updraft top site, and that Dizzy timing allows Cryo to keep pushing into Kitchen. That's where he takes the fight. We've got to freeze, because it's just a 1-for-1 at the time being. It gets deeper than that, though. See this crossfire that his teammates have continued scaling up with. Those two players are going to freeze any players trying to come through Kitchen on site, even if they manage to get a kill. And Bang is now on the path forward. So they lock him there, and Bang comes in for a great timing. They're distracted by the two players on site, and they get the kill. But how does Bang even get there? Because he goes so quickly through this mid space, right? Well, look at the timing again of how he works with his teammates. Right now, he's inside of his own Viper Orb in mid, and he hears this Killjoy turret back on Boiler. That means there's no turret in Kitchen. Now, remember the Killjoy ult. Players can only at hallway before he pops out here, so everyone would be turned away. Then when they get stuck by those two players on site, he's popping up, shooting two players in the back of the head. It is a great plan, all about misdirection and allowing Bang to come in on a brilliant timing to win that round and go up to a 7-5 attacking half at the end. We'll hear what 100 Thieves head coach Zix has to say after that map number 1, and it's pretty nice calling.
Smick standing here with Coach Zix after map number 1. Coach, I'm curious, going up against Sentinels, they are one of the teams that have the most VODs you could possibly review, dating from kickoffs all the way to Madrid. Knowing that they were going to be the first team that you play, I'm curious, how much of the preparation was based around the VOD review you did of them versus focusing on your team and getting your team to its best shape?
I would say, well, I mean, in preparation for the match, we thought we'd be playing against Curry, so, you know, that didn't help. But, I mean, we have a fair bit of a pretty good balance, I'd say. Mostly we're focused on ourselves, but we have little antis here and there that got us a few kills in map 1, and we'll see how many we'll get in map 2.
Sounds good. Best of luck on map number 2.
Good morning.
And it's going to be the Sentinels who pick up a big win on their, against 100 Thieves on their pick of Icebox there, of course. A very, very hard-fought game. It felt like 100 Thieves were given, as you guys had mentioned, a run for their money on the Madrid champs, but hey, you know what? Managed to pull through when it mattered most, and heroics from Saucy, everyone stepping up. This is the reason why Sentinel is such a scary team, Bala.
It felt kind of weird at the beginning of that game, how 100 Thieves was kind of controlling everything. And Sentinels was not having that fire that Kaplan was kind of talking about, especially in that first half. But you saw, I mean, you started seeing Zealous pop up in individual moments, Zekin pop up in individual moments, and you kind of realize, you're like, this feels like they're going to start getting into form. Practice or no practice, it feels like they're just going to return back to what they did in Madrid.
I mean, these are the situations they thrive in, right? You're down in a game, you haven't had much prep done, you're having to turn it around last second. They're so good when they have those opportunities. I was most impressed with Tens and Saucy, not only how they were using their util together to set up their A-site hits in particular were looking great with the KO Gecko, but both those guys were electric in the late rounds. I mean, that final round from Saucy was ridiculous.
Okay, I get it. Sentinels are good. Team, we can all agree on that, right? No, I'm on board. I'm on board.
He's on board.
But I've also been hearing that for a long time, and I honestly was really pleased with how 100 Thieves played.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Like, they didn't walk away with the win, but...
They were in control with the up for like 3/4 of the match.
100%. And I think, again, what I was seeing was a lot of those set ideas looking very, very strong. So even moving into a map like Split that you know Sentinels are going to be wanting to play, I feel like they're going to have a lot of strong ideas heading into that, too.
But I think they're going to get 2-0. I think they needed to win Icebox.
Okay, I didn't say they weren't.
I mean, we did see Sentinels get a little dismantled on Split in Madrid a little bit. A lot of work was put to stop that team on that map. They felt like it was a home map. Kaplan multiple times said, maybe not so much anymore. So curious, you know, could that maybe be the case here, or are we still very high on
You're
Sentinels?
talking what, Genji and Paperex, who kind of dismantled them on Split.
That's fair.
Very
I think that's a very different like tier and very different style of play. 100 Thieves play a lot more like Sentinels. They run this Gecko fade comp that is different than some of the other Gecko comps, but plays but a lot more similar to the normal kind of double initiator ideas that we see play a ton in North America. The biggest downside of this 100 Thieves comp is you're giving up that Sentinel, so I'm really looking to see how John QT works the map and tries to find these gaps, because he's so damn good at it when he calls attack side split.
This comp indexes far less into control, like the comp you're seeing Sentinels run, and way more into mid-range aggro, right? Between Gecko, Fade, Astra Stars to be able to set up. So it is very much about how they can pick and choose their fights in mid-rounds, mid-re-aggros, ideas like this. You can really dominate space with your utility in a very different way to a lot of other comps.
Things I really like from that is kind of the confidence from players we're already seeing. People like Cryo coming online in a massive way for 100 Thieves. I think that's going to be really important with a more aggressive style like we'll see from them on this map.
Well, these two teams are no strangers to going to distance when they play against one another. We'll see if it happens here again. Let's go ahead and send it over to your casters. You got Doug and Baby Bay.
Thank you, GB. Dre, I think the conversation was 100 Thieves tested the mettle of Sentinels. They pushed them on Icebox, but this should be an entirely different arena on Split.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing against one of the best Split teams in the game. But the cool thing is that you can prep anything you want going into this, any game plan you want. And honestly, 100 Thieves historically has not been that bad on Split in general.
Sure.
So I think it is a strong map for them. And having EU on this Fade, he's very comfortable playing it. He's played it in the past on M80 and etc. So I think this is it's gonna be a lot closer than I think people think it could be, but I still think that it's gonna be an uphill battle for them.
I think the other thing to keep in mind is we saw them struggle a little bit in Madrid on Split. The proficiency that they had on it was exposed, maybe isn't the right word, but they certainly lost more maps than I think people expected them to. So with 100 Thieves having the ability to prep whatever they want, right? To watch all of that film for the entire tournament, I can totally see a situation, a world where 100 Thieves feel really confident. They feel prepared heading into this map.
Yeah, as they should. And, you know, even off the last map, you know, they played very well. And I think that, you know, that's a testament to how much work they've put in.
I wonder, though, too, as Sentinels flirt with the middle of the map a little bit here.
They have contacted all the way from A main into the vent area.
Yeah, they have no idea.
So unique.
He has a frenzy. First kill found. Zealous is not able to find anything.
Gotta clear your corners.
Bang over the top. Helping him out and bailing him. Oh, dude, this contact approach that they've had around the entire map just continues. This time he used punish for it. Lucio not able to land the shots. And now Zekin going hunting.
Spike planted.
Daring to challenge.
What a great nade.
I mean, it was perfect. Heel's gonna top him off, and now It's going to be on 100 Thieves to retake the space, find a little bit of room to work.
He does have satchels to get out of here.
Oh, he's going to have to use them. Tries to get up top. Boosting plucks him out of the sky. Saucy down low, not able to do anything with it. 100 Thieves get the pistol.
Wow, I was really worried for 100 Thieves when I saw Sentinels contact all the way up A main and go into vent.
Yeah.
Had anyone actually been there, they would have lost the round guaranteed. But their pistol was good. It was a heavy male setup and just pretty passive on the A, just, you know, playing towards that CT area of the map, giving all of that heaven space.
You know, I think another conversation, as I want to call back to Icebox one more time, because one of the big parts of the success that 100 Thieves found was Cryo just went nuts, right?
Yeah.
He almost went double positive, if I'm not mistaken, on Jet.
Yeah.
It's hard to deliver that same performance on an agent like Astra.
Unless you're Demon 1, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, fair.
It's a very valid point. Asuna's going to need to step up big as well on this raise. And we've seen him do it time and time again. We know he's comfortable on the character. Is he ready for Sentinels, though? And again, this A contact from SEN. Conditioning that early on.
Right there. Boosty dealing a little bit of damage.
Should be bombed down here. For free.
Right there. And if that's all that plays out, I think for Sentinels you get a decent situation. Any gun that you can drop feels like a win. They didn't invest very much. 100 Thieves did into the round. Asuna pushing forward, dropping John QT. Head's not able to find anything with it. So 100 Thieves will get their second. And honestly,
pretty clean.
Yeah, all things considered.
Pretty clean, and it's already a good sign for 100 Thieves. The fact that they're willing to give up the site, even on an eco round, not push it, not rush it, use their utility. And they have so much utility, by the way, for these retakes. You have Fade Prowlers, you have the Eye, you have Boostio with the Wingman to defuse the bomb, or a Molly to clear out Hell. It's a lot of utility with this composition.
Lots of tools at their disposal.
Yeah, and that's why you're seeing SEN already do this game plan of let's contact, because they understand that if they make a lot of noise and presence, they could easily run into a Tether Nade or a Gecko Flash play. You know, it's tough when you play against all this utility, but
that's a really good point.
A good way to outplay it is by just walking into the space, not making it obvious that you're there.
A 4-0 start for Asuna on the raise, 1 point away from Showstopper.
This is aggressive from 100 Thieves on a round. 1 for 1.
He's got his ult. And I mean, the fact that you have the ult round 3 suggests that, I mean, you want to invest it, right? Go ahead and use it.
Yeah.
Try to steal a cheeky round if you can.
When we spoke about how important the bonus is in the last map for Sentinels, this would be everything. This would be a great start to the half for 100 Thieves if they can win this round. Maybe get one more kill, invest the rocket.
Asuna getting pressured. Fear of what might be behind the dog. Has to drop the nade.
Yeah, and I don't think Sentinels want to hit this site where the raise is at.
Yeah.
If I was Asuna, I'd probably already be leaning once I made presence on this A side and just go to B already. Because of this right here.
Gonna get a lot of room to work mid. Remember, it is just Cryo who's B.
The A main clear was a little bit too late. Not gonna be here in time, but if Cryo can survive for long enough, the rotate with the rocket can come in. Oh, nice. That was very, very interesting.
Ambitious?
Ambitious, yeah. To say the least.
I got you. Spike planted.
And he gets punished for the ambition.
Hold.
Sentinels with site control, with the spike planted, with a gun advantage, with a numbers advantage.
It's tough, you know, maybe he thought that someone was in B main.
Yes.
Enemy remaining.
But this is just, yeah.
Yeah, this is getting cleaned up. Asuna's the only one left. Looks like he's going to carry the ult into the next. Maybe find another with the Guardian, but can't. Sentinels are on the board. They punch back. The one benefit here is, again, as we think about how the finances have played out at the beginning, 100 Thieves have plenty to work with here.
Yeah, they do. I think they had a really good chance of winning this round.
I think so too.
Had Cryo not made that small mistake, and that's what you see when you make tiny mistakes like that against a team of the caliber of Sentinels, who are like champions right now, the best team in the world right now.
Yeah.
They're going to take advantage of that completely. So what ended up being a very winnable round for 100 Thieves that would have put them far ahead. Sentinels just steal it from them. A lot of A main pressure from Sen in all of these rounds, but this time the lurk up B. Cryo dialed in.
Nice. Yeah, man.
Zelsus tried finding a timing.
Yeah,
Very ambitious there.
One more.
To peek after that first kill, maybe just getting that one and getting out. Playing the 5v4 would have been nice.
I also think, as much as we've talked about Sentinels and their contacting through most of the map, I think we're starting to see some adjustments on how these are using their utility to sniff that stuff out. Right? Like as soon as the cages go up, EU dogs to clear out A main to confirm there may be somebody there. And I think because of that, they're able to rotate much earlier than they would otherwise.
Oh my gosh. Such a good call from John. But 100 Thieves might beat them there.
Yeah, it's a foot race.
Not quite there.
It's a foot race, and I don't know if they're going to win it.
Yeah, they didn't do anything to actually keep the 100 Thieves players on that A site. Oh, but they're second guessing themselves again.
Second ult invested. No one on the site. How far up does he push? You imagine as soon as you clear the site, wow, I thought he'd be a little bit more aggressive with it. As soon as it fires, there's people on the other side. Second with 2, bang with the counter. And now the 2 remaining members of 100 Thieves have so much space they need to take, and nothing will be found.
And for a second there, it looked like Zekin was alone, but he wasn't. He had the support of Tyson there, pushing CT together at the perfect timing.
A tandem that was so effective on the international stage, finding success here on Split.
And again, a little bit of an ambitious peek from Cryo, who actually supported Boostio perfectly there, got the one up. But then he decides to go for more off of that Gecko flash. So, you know, Cryo's been popping off, but I think he's overheating a little bit in some of these rounds, and it's punishing them. I don't blame him, you know, you had such a great map.
Yeah.
You feel like you were aimbotting everybody.
If the hand is hot, you keep shooting, but which has been a tough start for him. Boostio took a considerable amount of damage there.
And Sentinels right now just trying to get early mid info. This is one of the first rounds that they've defaulted 3 players here. Just trying to get info on where the stack could be from the defending side, not trying to get ecoed like they did on Icebox, but as I say that,
yeah, the problem is the stack is here.
The stack is indeed here. They brought it back, and that allows Jean to get all this free real estate on the A ramp.
I wonder here if they fight to control some of these weapons, or if they just realize they've got the site and they want to take the straight up.
Yeah, John's got such a good spot here.
Yeah, EU,
so pushed up.
EU and Cryo both upgraded weapons, so they have rifles to attempt this.
And light armor on EU. He has to be the difference maker here.
John QT, the first degree, gets 2. Not able to land the 3rd. Cryo left alone. Cryo, who was a monster on the first map, succumbs to tens.
But, I mean, nevertheless, that was a great eco round from 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
I think that Sentinels was trying to fish out to see if it was a mid-fight. And 100 Thieves played it so well. They tucked the entire time and then just took a timing peek with the flashes and everything, with the nade.
They lured them in until there was no exit. There was no chance to get away.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good timing there from 100 Thieves. But heads up play from John to like understand, like, oh, this was a heavy mid-fight. I can take all the space. And with that, he got 2, being all the way pushed up.
Yeah.
And, you know, 100 Thieves is aware that, you know, they understand, okay, the Cypher probably took space somewhere, but where, you know? That's why you saw the Dizzy go and try to clear out screen area. John just pushed all the way up there, and they have an early timeout from 100 Thieves, not wanting this to slip away from their grasp.
I feel like when you see an early timeout like this, does it feel like, in your opinion, is that often when there's like something fundamentally wrong in how they've approached it, and it's like something, okay, we need to adjust this? Because I would think it's not as much of a mental thing at this early in the stage of the map.
I think it's a double whammy. I think also you want to like ice the other team, and they want to ice Sentinels. Sentinels have looked hot in the last 2 rounds. Sure. It hasn't even really been that competitive.
Sure.
But yeah, let's see what 100 Thieves cooked up going into this gun round.
Let's go Sentinels. Wow. Right.
And yeah, this is the adaptation. They're putting Asuna and EU here with the nade tether combo. Trying to see if there's any early aggression here.
I also think it's worth mentioning Asuna's been holding on to this ult for a little while, and yeah, he hasn't necessarily had the greatest opportunities to use it, but start to feel some of the diminishing returns of having it so early.
And you see all this utility being used from 100 Thieves because of how Sentinels have walked in to A ramp for the last, I don't know how many rounds. Even last round, John walked all the way up, so they're trying to punish this. But Sen is one step ahead. And John's only job here is to keep them here. That's all he has to do. Oh, but this Roomba, that should be a cue for 100 Thieves to understand that majority is not towards A right now.
That dog did not go up far enough. So John may find a timing here late in the round. Meanwhile, the rest of Sentinels are leaning over towards B. The Seekers invested the flash out top. Second pushing forward.
Oh my gosh, he's wrapped the pillar.
From his team by the Molly. There it is, Asuna.
Nice.
Finally pulling the trigger on that. EU joining in. You gotta keep an eye on the timing. That late flame from John could be everything, but by the time he shows up, the round is lost.
And they should know at this point.
Yeah.
Cutie, please.
He may still be able to pull this off, though. He's healthy. And it's John QT.
Oh, but Bang is dialed in on this angle. It's basically a crossfire.
It's a brutal thing to have to clear, yeah. No real advantage, no way to pull that thing off. Bang cleans him up. We're tied at 3.
And this time, Zakin getting a little too aggressive there in the CT area. He did a great wrap on Pillar. But he got punished by EU. And just didn't buy enough time for John to get value with that flank. And now I'm wondering in the future, maybe they throw a fake on the other side and come back to John in the future. That's what I'm thinking.
Can I get a drop?
Sen is a team that likes to adapt on the fly very quickly. That's why they're so impressive to play against.
I mean,
they're very fast stage control.
Yeah. They're not comfortable giving up this space anymore. Space that's been free real estate for Sentinels up until this point.
And here are the protocols. The molly out from Bang with the orb to delay the speed up into B heaven. Just fundamentally correct right now. That forces Sentinels to have to reset. And it looks like they're going to reclear this A space.
And the question is, I think, do they contact their way to clearing out this space that they've had for free the entire half, or do they have to invest utility that they would be using otherwise to get onto A proper? Contact has been the name of the game for them. And it seems like that's what's going to be happening here.
Oh, they didn't shoot. I still don't think Asuna saw, but EU gets the 1-up. Wow!
The trap was perfect.
That was beautiful.
EU and Asuna combining to really rip Sentinels to shreds there.
That was really good chemistry between the two young guns.
That wasn't good.
No utility even needed to be used there, too. Just peeking off one another.
It's just luck, man.
Poor Jordan. He was on the other side of the map.
Yeah, forced to just sit and
Couldn't
watch.
do anything.
He is one away from ult. We'll see if he gets a fight. There's still plenty of time for it to play out. Yeah, but I think you know, to think about how that round closed out again is this approach from Sentinels that's been heavy contact, heavy, you know, try to feel out the map without investing utility, without revealing position. Proved to be the difference maker there, of course. As the fight happens, the banner goes up. He gets his ult, though. Oh! Survives.
Yeah, it was a really nice macro round from 100 Thieves. They took early A space, pushed John all the way back into spawn, denied the speed up to be heaven, and then Asuna and EU stayed, understanding that they're probably going to contact back in and reclear the A space. And Asuna, I was speaking about his raise. Look at him. He's 10-4 right now. And it's not like he's doing anything too crazy. He's not going for flashy plays. In that round, he was just jump spotting to bait for EU to get a free kill. And then swinging. So he's playing it really smart right now.
Back to a 1-3-1 approach for Sentinels. This time they have to stare at the green goo that's obfuscating their view. Thing is, if they can find some space with the dog, that's big. They're gonna try to chase on a Bang, but the shorty greets second. You've got Austin who's up really far into the pit too.
Yeah, that support. Like I said, he's not trying to make any crazy plays. He's just there. Just doing everything. Team play. Letting the game come to him almost.
First cage goes up, and that's a Q. Boostio invests his ult. And you've got EU who's helping over the top, but they managed to get past it anyway. Saucy with a dizzy in his face, lands the shots onto Boostio. Everyone keeps him grounded. Keep an eye on Tens. In a really good position here. Meanwhile, the rest of the site is left up to the fight with the pit invested. That's a really big ult to try to counter it. But Tens' timing here could play spoiler. The only one close by is going to be Cryo. Bang falls. Tens pushing. Oh my gosh. And he gets dropped by Cryo. Cryo's left in the 1v2. He still has to deal with the pit. This is a big ask out of the star. Can he deliver in this moment? No. Celsius with 3. We're tied again.
I got scared for a second for SEN when 3 players were going towards site. But one of the players from SEN was coming back to A ramp, supporting Tyson there to take control of Heaven as that retake was coming in. Was the factor that made the biggest difference, and that's just like a split-second timing. He was so close.
Yeah. That's just so
That's
tough.
a tough round to lose.
1000%.
I mean, they had 4 ults, and they used them all, and they didn't win the round. Devastating loss into that round, but another 1-for-1 here.
The 1-for-1 doesn't really add up when you're playing on defense.
Yeah. It is good that they took out the initiator, though. So no flashes will be in this round, at least for info. Of course, you have the Omen flash for Tyson.
Oh! Boostio playing in and out of the smoke. Another 1-for-1.
Great trade.
Is he going to stick this? Oh gosh, he sucked it. Cryo played that beautifully.
Oh, he pulled himself.
Tucked behind the pillar to make sure he wasn't seen. The showstopper connects. Every single domino has fallen into 1-for-1 for this round. And it all falls down to 2s now. Bang left alone, cannot convert. Second with 3, Sentinels with the lead again.
EU was in such a good spot right there. He could have secured the win by killing John, who had the bomb on the cross, but he whiffed. That's tough.
And again, the way Cryo played that onto Tens was beautiful. But Bang has been left in a lot of these 1vx situations, and he's been steady for the team so far, but those big ones haven't gone his way.
Now the economy in shambles for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, just a stinger for Bang.
Wow, my eyes are down.
And you know, honestly, as much as we've talked about it, the approach hasn't really changed a ton for Sentinels. They continue to 1-3-1. They continue to allow John to drop those cages and then suggest that they're trying to take space A.
John is so good at what he does on that A side of the map.
Yeah. I think it's all part of the conditioning. Cryo trying to land the suck. What a great second for dashing across, but the nade is good. Bang falls. Oh! Big from Cryo. That's 2. You wouldn't expect 4 HP though in a 2v3. Still just Sheriffs. Cryo falls. Bustio's left alone to his own devices with the Sheriff to try to win out a 1v3 with the cam in his face. Tries to tuck behind it. All 3 of them are playing backside, bro. That's a bad.
Exactly.
Forget that.
This would be insane. Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
Nah. Too much.
Yeah.
Too much of an ask. And I like the approach from SEN. You know, showing all that mid control like they did in the previous anti-eco. This time, wary of there being a trap there. So they go back and just hit B. And I think hitting B on anti-eco rounds is pretty efficient.
Yeah.
You can clear out a lot of the close angles with utility and not have to worry about it. Zek can getting free entries into the site.
A 2-round lead for Sentinels. They've got the Seekers from Saucy to work with here too.
Here's the change of pace.
But they're ready for it. This is fast, but you're absolutely right.
Where's the nade?
There was no follow-up. Zekin was past it anyway. Dog confirming presence. Showstopper, but he dodges it. Not taking the lack of damage. Literally nothing. Ultimately punished at the hands of Asuna anyway. Saucy with the flashes. He tries to double down, but Zelsis is there to help. Meanwhile, while all of that erupts, on A, we see a fight made go the way of Bang. Zelsis and Saucy fall. That was an outrageous start to that round.
The utility from 100 Thieves, that's what I was talking about. The trap plays that they have different layers to them. So even if the first layer didn't work, the tether nade, right? They didn't commit to that. Now you have the rocket. Then you have Boostio throwing the molly behind on that ramp area. I mean, that must be a lineup. That was sick.
I still don't know where that
awareness to hold mid.
I still don't know where that rocket went.
Zekin just jumped past it.
Just vanished.
Last second.
Last round of the half. An ult for Cryo, but that's it. And this is very different from the 1-3-1 we've seen a lot. This time it's a fast hit A. No attempt to take Heaven. Just trying to go through main. Play behind all the walls. They have to play with the smokes. And that's enough.
Yeah, that was a great read from John. Understanding that the A trap was there the last round. Not many teams like to do a back-to-back trap in the same spot. For good reason as well.
How do 100 Thieves approach this retake? The Cosmic Divide will tear them apart. Saucy gets two big ones. Threes as you see crosshairs fly across the screen. John gets two. The ult invested. Zelsis gets the last. Dude, some of these rounds have gone down to the wire.
Switching sides.
Yeah. And then others have been very messy.
That was a nice post plant from Sentinels just playing in. They understood that that Astral Wall was going to block off A ramp and A main.
You can take a look at it again.
Nice shot.
Yeah, Saucy had a massive round.
Oh,
that second kill was crazy. It was a great start for Sentinels, and on the other side for 100 Thieves, we actually spoke to Boostio earlier to get his thoughts about Sentinels and what he thought leading into this match. Take a listen.
I think the biggest threat is definitely, if you just look at it, Zekin. The kid is incredible. He's just dropping unreal numbers every match. But I think if I couldn't choose Zekin just because he's the duelist, I'd say Tens. I think Tens is also back to like his X factor. Like he's playing smokes, but you know some maps he's dropping like 260 ACS. He's getting a lot of first bloods. He's doing a lot for the team that might get like not shown as much just because he's on the smoke pro now. But if he was doing this on duelist like he was in 2021, like everyone would be freaking out. So I think he's back in form, and I think he is their X factor. So if we can shut him down, it'd probably work out pretty good for us.
I mean, it's been competitive up until this point, right? It's always such a treat to be able to listen and pick the brains of a guy like Boostio and get his thoughts on Zekin and Tens and how valuable they are to their team.
The problem is like, yeah, you can shut down Tens, but then you have to deal with Zekin, then you have to deal with Zelsis. Then Saucy's doing what he did in last map, right?
Yeah.
John, the IGL, who has his moments getting 20 bombs in certain halves, specifically on this map as well. It seems like defense for John on this map, he has a field day against a lot of teams.
I mean, we got to give the people what they want, right? You got to give them the turtle. We'll see how it plays out. I think the big takeaway so far, Dre, if I may, is 100 Thieves continue to push Sentinels in ways that we may not necessarily expect. I think coming off of a Masters win, and yes, you know, John just getting in and kind of how that dynamic plays out, I think there are some people who may have expected Sentinels to just kind of run away with this, to really roll 100 Thieves, but they've shown a lot that's been impressive, and there you go.
Yeah, they've had really good ideas in both maps so far. It's just not enough in these halves.
We'll see if it's enough to close this thing out. Now that they're on the attack side, a 1-3-1, very similar, very reminiscent to what we saw Sentinels do.
And this time, if 100 Thieves were to go B, you have the Omen Flash here.
Yeah, with the cam for contact. The tough thing is, they're so concerned about the space that's been lost. They're going to hear the dog. In a lot of ways, as you look at the mini-map, you see there's like concern and paranoia from both teams on what's happening A main. Did you take it? No. Did you take it? I don't have it.
This Flash should get the info that there is a lurk on A. They don't know how many though. And they missed.
Saucy dancing around the utility, looking for the right time to strike.
Here's the classic Sentinels. Pistol defense, just playing a retake. It's going to be coordinated. It's going to be nice. What can 100 Thieves do to disrupt this? There's the nade to clear hell. The flash out.
I mean, he jumped into the nade! 5 pieces of utility used in an attempt to retake that. Oh! I mean, it's calculated.
He's snappy with it.
It's surgical. It's beautiful.
Oh, and you saw it. 100 Thieves' game plan there was to basically retake the retake, but the timing was just off. Boostio ended up jumping into hell into the nade as soon as it was blooming. That's rough.
Nice cutie.
And I think even just looking at the kill feed and seeing how many people get assists and how many assists take place when you see these kills come through on the retake is really indicative of how they play it out, right? Everybody gets involved.
It's tough. I mean, you know what's coming, but what can you do about it? Sometimes utility is just too good. And the pace of how Sentinels go together on the retakes to get trades. It's just on point. Whoop.
A lot of mid-presence here. Zelsa's spam not connecting, takes a step back though.
Saucy got info on Bang on this lurk. So maybe just jiggling this corner, trying to see if he can punish him if he walks up. Oh! I think Boostio saw Jordan here.
And if there was any doubts, it's confirmed now. The one place that they haven't really gotten any info is B. And I think by what they've seen so far, they've been able to deduce there's a whole lot of action.
What a good cage.
Coming mid. That cage is perfect, you're absolutely right.
No charges left.
With that mid control, Second understands he has to fall back here. Maybe he's going to try to get in his sight. And this is the perfect spot for a Sky to be.
And I think one of the benefits is Sentinel's pace here is they've already gotten past some of the util.
30 seconds
EU
left.
playing on site, dropping
Spike
Saucy.
planted.
They got the spike down. That's
the timing.
Big, but how much more can they find? Bang sticks a barrel of the Sheriff into the ear of John QT, tries to survive the spam. Tuck around the corner, upgrades a weapon, 1v2, will not convert. As Sentinels will get to 9.
And he almost made it happen. That was great. I like how he took his time on that last kill. A lot of players would just sit there and spam and the bullets would not connect. Showing some poise, but a 9-5 scoreline right now.
You take a look at that again. I think this is really where things start. This is where if you're 100 Thieves and you are going to attempt to come back, it really has to convert here. You can't afford to lose this round.
Yeah, but in that eco round, what they did was they were trying to feel the defense out of Sentinels, and they got to understand how the players rotated and what the setup was onto the actual site once they took mid control. So I'm wondering if we see a punish here on Sentinels.
They don't have much of a buy. It's a Guardian for 10. It's the only rifle really to speak of.
Saucy dogging out A earlier in this, but mid control gathered from 100 Thieves.
You see the setup too is so nice. As soon as the cam gets info, Zelsis has a better understanding of what's waiting on the other side. The trip there to protect him too. This is really aggressive. That was way too much for Bang to deal with. The question is, what do they do with that weapon? It seems like, yeah, Tenz is going to get the Phantom. The Guardian goes in the hands of Saucy. Meanwhile, the rest of the hit is B.
He's just spraying and praying, trying to get any chip damage he can. And John's just gonna give.
Again, this bonus would be huge if they can pull this off. Boostio's weak. They've gotten one step closer. Does not look like there's any challenge or any threat to Wingman, so he gets a spike down.
Look at this right here on the minimap. Sashi on the flank. When does he take his timing?
They've got him surrounded. They've got him corralled and controlled. EU playing anti, second, satcheling out, ultimately falls, but confirming there's someone held. Meanwhile, again, the smoke keeping Sashi back.
Oh, Boostio's looking though, he's so rare.
He knows, but he was weak, he falls, a 2v2 now. Cryo's so weak, Asuna's here, but the snap is clean. Sashi left alone. Can he pull this off? He's gotten it down to 1. Switches weapons, time is short. Does he have a smoke? Cryo's gonna clutch it out. 100 Thieves gets to 6.
Costly and very, very close.
Lead me.
Sashi maybe taking a little bit too much time there on the flank, but it's tough. You know, somebody could have been in B main that whole time. He was waiting for his team to make contact first, and then proceeding to go forward.
Right.
And I think 100 Thieves did a really good job of, again, not allowing the retake to fully come through with the utility and disrupting it. They pushed into CT, that allowed Cryo to flank and secure the round win, but that was costly.
A bulldog for Bang, a guardian for Boostio.
Yeah. Early mid default again.
Trying to clear out that trip.
I think they heard it be placed earlier.
I think so too.
In the round. And they finally break it with the satchel. That leaves Asuna with no utility. And Bang gets caught out.
Again in A main.
What's important here is the timing of what happened. The last few rounds, Sashi has been using that dog just to get the info. This time, Zekin peeking behind it, punishing Bang.
The only thing keeping Celsius away from the 4 remaining members of 100 Thieves right now is that smoke. And Zekin pounces at just the right time. The rocket just a little short, not connecting.
It's insane. And remember what I said that Asuna should have done on their defense. Zekin just did it. Gets the kill in A main, rotates all the way back into B heaven. Gets another one.
Now playing down low. Looking to see if there's any head that he can take.
It's too good.
Spike down B.
It's too good.
You wouldn't believe it, he just landed yesterday. Between John QT and Zekin, they're running away with this thing. Sentinel's up to 10.
Again, the forbidden triangle set up on the B site. You have a guy in hell, a guy playing pillar, and a guy back site. Everyone can swing off of one another.
Dude, that's such a tough. I think you're right. It was Zekin pushing behind the dog.
Yeah.
That was just too much for Bang.
It's just a hard read play. And that's Sashi telling Zekin, yo, this guy's been walking up after the dog.
Yeah.
So even if he doesn't break it, just take the line and hold for him. And he gets the kill, instantly rotates to B heaven with the rocket for the speed up.
And this time you see an adjustment in the call. The 1-3-1 has been set aside for now, as it seems like they want to go a little bit faster B with the Nightfall.
Whoa.
And the Prowlers, they're trying to get some space. Sashi still gets a kill on Asuna. Tens is there to help. How much more can they do as Bang opens up the site, but Celsius is there. He's gonna Celsius with 3, Sentinels with 11. They stand in the face of the punch. What a hold.
I feel like sometimes Celsius is surprised by himself. I see his own reaction to his own plays. And even he's like, oh my god. It's just easy for him sometimes.
These two right here.
Wow. He looks surprised. Okay. I'll take what I can get.
Let's go.
And this is Sentinel's best map for a reason. I mean,
and again, they're starting to pull away with it, man.
Yeah. You might think you have the one up on them. You might have a good half against them, but they always seem to close it out on this map. And yeah, like we talked about how in Madrid there was some shakiness in it, but they're so good at this map. They have so many reps on it that they can make adaptations like that and win. They're such a good team. That's why they're champions. The team to beat. 100 Thieves, you know, they look really decent on the defensive side, but I'm not seeing too much value out of this Gecko pick in general, besides from that one trap play with the Molly. I feel like a lot of the utility has been broken by Sentinels, and when you have people that, you know, play aim labs the way Tens does, sometimes that Gecko flash doesn't really get much value at all.
Just one round one this half for 100 Thieves. That's just so tough. And again,
and it was close too. It wasn't like it was like a
right. It wasn't
round.
Yep. You're absolutely right. And again, for 100 Thieves, that previous round was a different look. Right, they moved away from the 1-3-1 because that wasn't working. They tried a hard hit B with the Nightfall. That didn't work either.
This is something new. Early mid aggression from 100 Thieves into an A hit. But we have the trips here, and John's just ready for this. He's playing far back into screens. He's just going to spam off the trips. So if these are not broken, it's going to be disaster for 100 Thieves.
That's tough too. Asuna doesn't have.
And this is a one-way cam.
Yeah,
they're going to see their feet before cam is broken.
There it is.
Great trade though from Bang.
Asuna falls, and the trips that you were referring to are still up in play.
And there's no nade to break him now, so this is going to be tough to walk into a main here.
Lucio's got the utility ready. Sasi just respects it.
He's so good.
Wisely so.
He's so good.
They invested the Seekers here. That's a deep hit too.
Wow.
Sasi gets caught by Thrash.
This is so good. It's planted for heaven, and they didn't have to go through A main at all.
Now the defense is kind of trapped. You can't really explore heaven. There's a lot of shot at this here. Cryo has a Phantom too.
Oh, the timing from Tyson.
That was really, I mean, that was their opportunity. Bang picks it up, and it's instantly dropped again. It's beautiful from Sentinels.
I spoke about how this map is John's playground, and it looks like he got a second win. Came in tired. Came in through in a last-minute flight, 5 a.m. Yeah, it was business class, of course, you know, because that's how they roll. But you know, it still sucks flying like that and having to show up for a match.
Yeah, John looks good. He continues to look good.
And just changes his setup. Now he's on the B side.
14-9. Zekin's doing Zekin things.
I was literally about to say the exact same thing.
And this Sentinel squad hasn't slowed down.
Here's that mid trip again. Not broken right away this time. Ooh.
First shot not connecting.
It's not broken at all. Did they not hear it this time?
This time it's Tyson. It's Tens, excuse me. You've messed up with my brain. Now I'm calling him Tyson. It's Tens who's here, and he's got an op holding the line.
Are they ready for this?
Sasi's used his
that was made.
He's still here. He still has the line.
He should be dialed in on this. He heard the footstep.
Tyson, Tens, with the op.
Tenzin?
You've destroyed me.
Connects
with two. Asuna there on the counter. The Cosmic Divide is going to throw things apart.
And his pace, the A-ramp reclear, it's too fast. For 100 Thieves, and that mid chip that wasn't broken should be the nail in the coffin.
A complete dismantling in the second half. 100 Thieves won one round. Absolute cinema. Sentinels destroy 100 Thieves.
Absolute cinema. You are correct. And they still look good. Man, do they look good. I saw an interview with them all, you know, saying, oh, we won. How are we going to be now as a team? Nah, we're still hungry. We want to win the championship. Yeah. And they're not letting off the gas. Yeah, that first map was a little bit close, right? But I think that was more so because 100 Thieves had a really great game plan going into it.
Oh, and also
Cryo was going crazy.
Yeah, and Curry mentioned it, right? When they chatted with him, when Svick chatted with him, that's probably their weakest map. So if you manage to get through that, do your weakest map, and still stay in it is impressive. And I think the other thing that I love one that I'm seeing out of Sentinels, and you imagine Kaplan has a lot to do with this. They understand that Madrid was just an appetizer.
Yep.
I mean, it was the tiniest of morsels, and that's what's got them hungry.
They don't look like they skipped a beat at all.
No.
In this series, and the SEN bundle lives on another day.
Yeah, shout out Bundle. All the homies love Bundle.
Mr. Bundle. And you know, it says something when you allow one of your worst maps to go through. It's almost like they're using this as practice, which is kind of scary for me.
Yeah.
And if I was a VCT team that they have to play against, I'd be scared too, because if they're treating matches as practice, I mean, they're looking at the long run here. They are looking at champs. They want to make it all the way there. They want to hold the main trophy up.
But I think there are a lot of people who think, again, Madrid may have just been a flash in the pan, and, you know, there were a lot of teams that normally are there that weren't there, and, you know, kind of how that plays out, but it just seems like they haven't slowed down.
It's heartbreaking for 100 Thieves. Like, they just haven't had a win yet this year, but I think I saw a lot of promising things out of them, and I think that they can be a team that maybe goes for that 5th to 6th spot, maybe potentially. You know?
And potentially more. I think the upside is there. I think, much like a couple of other rosters this year, it's going to take time.
It takes time no matter what.
Right? I think Bustio had big moments. Bang continues to develop into this role. We've seen him grow over these last couple of years. Cryo returned to Cryo. The Cryo that
he looked really good today, by the way.
Yeah.
He looked really good today.
His Icebox was spectacular. I think ultimately you dance on a map that's yours, but then you step into the lion's den of Split, and that's a tough ask for really any team.
I mean, dude, if you're any team right now and you're allowing Split to go through, you better be absolutely ready and show us something crazy to pick it against, or to have it go through the map pool against a team like SEN. Because they're just too good at the map. They've played it so many times, and you might think you can counter them, but they've gotten countered so many times. They have the counter to the counter to the counter.
Yeah, and then the counter after that.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're just too dialed in and rehearsed on a map like that. Don't let that go through anymore. I mean, I'm begging. I'm begging. I'm begging at this point.
13-6 on Split, a 2-0 series win for Sentinels. We're going to throw it down to Smix down at the stage for the Verizon post-match in.
Thank you very much, Doug, and congratulations, Zelsis or Bundle, as you've recently been renamed. Our Masters Madrid champion standing here after a 2-0 victory over 100 Thieves. There's no question, being a champion is amazing, but that definitely means you immediately have a target on your back and the world of expectations of everyone just immediately expecting you to win every single game after that. So how good does it feel to kick off stage 1 with a win like this, 2-0?
I mean, it feels good, but we don't really care what everyone else thinks. We only care what we think. And I mean, we had a really huge team meeting after Madrid about like just staying composed, not getting complacent, not getting like an ego, and just like working hard, because that's how we got there. Obviously, this is like a first time for a lot of us being at the top. So, I mean, there's a saying like it's easier to get to the top than it is to stay there. So I hope we can stay there. But yeah, it's nice to get a win, but we're just treating it like every other match.
Indeed. Earlier when we spoke to Coach Kaplan, he said the same thing, that this is the first time he's been in this position, and it's great to hear that you had a team meeting about it. Personally, for yourself as a player who's also going through this, having reached the top and now having a very different challenge and trying to maintain that, how has that been for you with this new difficulty you're facing?
I mean, I expected to like kind of be a little butthead more after the win, but I mean, I'm kind of not. Like, I don't really feel a difference. I just want to play. I just want to compete and play, and like obviously, like this is like what it's about, right? Like the fans, the competing, everything, and also selling the Sentinels bundle. That is the main thing.
I was wondering when you were going to work that in.
Yeah, I was going to work that in. But yeah.
Amazing. And obviously we still have so many more games to look forward to from Sentinels, but also seeing as how you just took down 100 Thieves 2-0, I know Icebox was the one that got a little bit difficult, especially towards the end, but did pull out the win. How does 100 Thieves this time around feel facing them, especially seeing Cryo pop off the way that he did?
I mean, obviously our last series against them was a lot closer. It was 2-1. But then this series being 2-0, I mean, but you could tell they put in a lot of work. They put in a lot of time. I think first match for us was like a lot of jitters. I think we were, I mean, first match back, getting back. Obviously, John is jet lagged, and like we weren't practicing with him. So we were kind of just adjusting. But shout out 100 Thieves. Like this you could tell they put in a lot of work, like just playing against them. So I'm glad like we got the early win, and like it kind of sucks. We're always playing each other our first match, so maybe, you know, Riot can change that for us and them. But yeah.
We'll see, but for now, congratulations again, Zealous, as always. And for now, we are going to head to the desk with Golden Boy for the post-show breakdown.
Thank you so much, Smix and Bundle. Very great to hear from Bundle. But I'm joined now by a person who has an actual name, Tens. Wait, well, that, no, that necessarily tracks. Still a gamer name, but, you know, we'll just roll with it. Anyway, I'm a grown man, calls himself Golden Boy, so I guess I just got to deal with this. In any case, so, guys, Tens, congratulations, man, on a big win. You know, I know that Zelsa said coming into this, you guys just looking at it as every other win, but it has to feel good to be able to pick up this win here today, opening matchup against 100 Thieves.
Yeah, certainly. We're just making sure that we're not complacent from the Madrid win. So we went into the matches just trying to give our best efforts. Obviously, practice wasn't optimal since John QT was kind of stuck in Morocco for a little bit, but luckily he was able to arrive just in time for the match. But overall, I think obviously not playing to our usual self, but I still think we're a really strong team.
Yeah, and you're one of the few players who's been there before, won a trophy, then kind of gone back with the hard task of having to stay on top. It didn't work out for that Sentinel SEN, but I want to ask, what did you learn from the previous edition of the roster, from being on top to then falling down and having to do it all over again? And maybe have you given any of that advice to your teammates now that you have a trophy and you're coming back into that same situation?
Yeah, I think overall it's mainly you have to stay up to date with the meta. You have to make sure you adapt. I think that's one thing that we didn't do previously on Sentinels before, and we kind of fell behind because of that. So I think adapting, making sure we're up to date, and obviously not getting complacent, like making sure we're grinding the same amount that we did before the event even, and just keeping up the hard work.
So does it feel like you guys are being successful at not being complacent and all that right now?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I want to ask about you specifically, how, like, I think in the offseason there was a lot of criticism levied your way. I want to know exactly what you feel like you've been working on the most and how that improvement path is right now in terms of your form. Because right now I think a lot of people are returning back to 10's GOAT status sort of thing. I want to see it from your perspective.
I think the play that I'm trying to bring a lot more now, or part of me that I was trying to focus on a lot more coming up to this season, was my supportive play style. And I do think it's very important to be able to support your teams for success. And I've always kept it in my mind that good players play well themselves, but great players will always make people around them play well too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that it goes to show. Yeah, it's actually quite a deep answer. I will give you your flowers on that one. By the way, I want to let everyone know, make sure you send your questions for Tens. We'll go ahead and hopefully get one or two of those out there before we close things off for the day. So now, you know, you guys having won Madrid, you've felt that high, that moment. Is there really I guess a cap? Do you feel like there's even more that this team can accomplish? Because it feels like even when the cards are stacked against you, which has happened a fair amount, you guys still find another gear, another opportunity. It's insane. I've never seen it before.
Yeah, I think definitely what we've shown so far this year is definitely a good stepping stone, but I do think that we can further keep improving, keep developing our map pool. I already think we have some really good and insane maps that we have in our back pocket that we like to rely on a lot. So I think just overall, the more we play, the more we get better, and I'm really excited just to see the future of what this
Are you having fun?
Yeah. I am having fun, yeah. I am.
That's good. That's good.
How does it differ playing in kind of a format like Kickoff, like Madrid? You played 41 out of 45 maps you possibly could, back to back to back, no time to sleep.
Almost double the second most played.
Yeah, in Americas. How does that differ from now, week by week, one match, week off, you play again? How does the preparation, how does the approach of the team change now that you're in, honestly, a very different style for this Sentinels?
Yeah, I think the kickoff format was actually pretty good for us because it was the start off of the season, start of a brand new team for us, and just being able to play so many matches made sure that we were able to kind of find a form and continue it onward.
Do you think that your team would have been able to win Masters if you didn't have to play all those games?
It's kind of hard to say. I do think that losing is a very important part of learning and improving. So I do think that taking some L's and being able to be in the lower bracket, playing more matches and experiencing more map losses kind of made us improve more as a team.
Yeah, I wanted to know, because obviously you guys have played the most. just a assessment of how the level was at Madrid, without Fnatic, without some of the other top hitters, DRX, those sort of teams. And obviously in the future, we're going to have a lot more teams at these international events. What was the level like? Do you think it was actually at the top of the top? Is it going to have to be a lot better for you guys going into next Masters, Champions, that sort of things, if you can make it there?
Yeah.
Or?
I definitely think the best teams qualify for the international tournaments, and I do think the path to the Madrid win was not easy for us, playing EMEA number 2, number 1 seed, then having to play Loud again, playing Gen G twice, Apex number 1 seed, and then playing Paper X number 2 seed of Apex. So it was definitely not an easy road to success.
Yeah, I can feel that because that was a journey that you guys went through. But you got to do something pretty cool today. We got a Twitch chat question from Kitty Catty Yumi. Sorry if I butchered your name. I apologize profusely. How does it feel to walk on stage with the trophy in hand? That was pretty cool.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's kind of heavy, so...
Okay, so we got to work on those arms, buddy.
I think I need to hit the gym or something. Jordan's been telling me something about that, so I think that's what has to happen.
I like that. Okay, hit up the gym with him. I think it'll work out for you guys. Okay, well, folks, we're going to be back here tomorrow with our last match of week 1, and it's going to be one whole matchup. That's right, because we're closing things out with Crew taking on Furia. That is going to be our last match of the week. And oh, did we not get the graphic out? You hate to see it, kids. Well, it's perfectly fine. In any case, so folks, that's going to do it for us here today. Got the buzzer. That works out perfectly fine. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shout out to Tens. Appreciate you, brother. And congratulations on the win. Looking forward to the rest of the season. We'll, of course, catch you right here tomorrow for one match. Furia Crew. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Really stoked for this game today, Rib, because we have a debut of Icy now on the VCT stage, and at the same time taking the duelist role, while you have some changes from Leaf going to the Sentinels. We'll see today now if those changes will be the missing pieces for G2 to get the revenge against evil geniuses. Finally gets the pick. A second one there, just gonna be a third! And
One enemy remaining. Last. Copy kill.
ऐसे दिखा रहे कल के लिए.
Nor are the players. Last one in. Jovi with the kill. A flawless round to give the series to G2 in a dominating fashion.
G2. With trophy in hand, the Sentinels are looking, I would even say, to maybe intimidate a little bit on the other side of the stage. 100 Thieves, you're coming out there, you holding the trophy, you know, it's kind of like holding it over someone's head.
Just in case 100 Thieves forgot.
Yeah,
Sentinels won it all.
In case you don't know.
The counterpunch comes through at just the right moment. Austin now not able to get it to half. He's left alone. A 1v3 will not convert. Sentinels tie us at 10.
Yeah.
So much about the prowess that is the Sentinels. Retake! But Cryo with 4.
Remaining. Spike planted.
उसका एम भी बहुत अच्छा है.
Can Bang do it on his own? A 1v2? No! Saucy with 4 and Sentinels secure Icebox. I mean, we gotta give the people what they want, right? You gotta give them the turtle. There you go. How much more can they do as Bang opens up the side, but Celsius is there.
ये बहुत अच्छा राउंड हमारा था.
Celsius with 3 Sentinels with 11.
इफेक्ट हो गया बहुत बड़ा.
A complete dismantling in the second half. Thieves won 1 round.
Good morning, my.
Sentinels destroyed the Thieves.
उठ गए नवाब.
You were so happy, just play like heavy numbers retakes, you know? Like backing up. What are you talking about? Did you watch the games? Person that's pressing the thing? If you've been pressing a thing?
I love it.
ये क्या कार्टून है? चलो भाई जाते हैं अभी मेरे को भी सोना है मैं भी सो जाता हूँ थोड़ी देर